Welcome. This film is in conjunction with Silvalea, a company that provide birthing slings for emergency evacuation from birthing pools. Whether it's a hard surface pool, such as this one, or a soft pool that might be used at home, in the community, and or in birth centres or hospitals around the country. The idea of the film is to show you how to safely and effectively emergency evacuate a mother in the very rare contingency where that might actually happen. As water births become more popular both at home and in the hospital situation, it's really important as midwives that we professionally consider the serious issue of emergency evacuation. The Silvalea birthing sling will assist you in the next 3 scenarios of how to do that in a safe and effective environment to protect yourself and your mothers. In this scenario, we're going to be using an inflatable birthing pool. Here it's in a birth centre, but more commonly these are ones that are often used at home that mothers hire or buy for use. We're also going to be using the Silvalea manual birthing sling to show you how we can safely and effectively manually evacuate the mother in an emergency situation. For community midwives, it's whether or not you need to assess whether or not there's a risk and it's something that you wish to get purchased or hired for your usage when you're in the community. So this has been a normal delivery. Unfortunately, for some reason now this mother has actually collapsed. Our first priority is to maintain her airway. Simple way of doing it, popping a rubber ring over. And our next action, of course, is to call for help and assistance. Maternal collapse. So whilst assistance has gone to get more help, we're going to use the water woggles to actually help lift the mother off the bottom of the pool. We're going to put one under her knees and one under her back to get her off so we can get the net slide underneath. So the next action is to bring the bed in at exactly the same height as the pool. So for the purposes of training, we're actually putting an extra pillow between the lip of the pool and the lip of the bed. This is obviously to maintain and protect the model's back as we lift her out. In reality, in an emergency, you're not going to worry about that. So now we're going to get the net, we're going to smooth it out so that we're ready with the 4 handles on each side and slip it underneath the mother. It may be easier if you actually grab the net right down so you've got very little loop left. That usually gives people a more secure hold. So we're going to use the buoyancy of the water, and with this particular pool we wouldn't attempt to fill it, we haven't got the time, so the buoyancy of the water with 3 gentle bounces to actually maintain some momentum to lift the mother out. And 3 gentle bounces. 1, 2, 3, and lift! The mother is now in a safe position. We still have a maintained airway. The staff will need to move to be able to continue the slide up the bed for the resuscitation team. Emergency evacuation from the pool is incredibly rare. However, as midwives, we do need to have a contingency, and of course, practice makes perfect. This scenario is going to show you how to emergency evacuate from a permanent fixed pool using the manual Silvalea birthing sling. So for emergency evacuation, we're actually going to use the buoyancy of the water to help lift the model out. If there's time and enough staff, then the water may be filled up, but don't waste time doing that. With the 3 gentle bounces that you'll see us perform and the 4th lift, we will lift the model to the edge of the pool. For the purposes of teaching, we have a pillow between the pool edge and the bed. That's to protect the model as we emergency evacuate. In real time, you wouldn't worry about the pillow. So this mother has collapsed. We have 2 ways of preserving her airway. First of all, manually, or if you have one, a rubber ring assisting over her head may help to preserve her airway while assistance comes. We'll now call for assistance with the emergency buzzer. Maternal collapse.
Put the brakes on. Grab the net.
Okay, so very gently. 1, 2, 3, and lift! Stay. Okay, everyone move, gentle slide with the slip mat to the end of the bed.
Ready.
1, 2, 3, slip. So here we have a mother who's delivered. For some reason now she has an emergency collapse. Our first priority is to protect her airway. That can either be done manually or with something as simple as a rubber ring. We now want to scoop around so that we can actually emergency evacuate her. She's now got a safe, protected airway. My next actions will to be call for help. As assistants arrive, I will be telling them this is a maternal collapse. Help will be called from the second midwife, whilst the first midwife is preparing the pool and the bed for that emergency evacuation. If we have one, a woggle may assist underneath the lady's legs to bring her off the bottom of the pool to slip the mat in. The bed will be at the height of the pool to make her ease of the emergency evac. A slip mat will be put onto the bed, and between the 4 first participants into the room, we will be slipping the net underneath mother. Her airway protected all the way through this emergency. The hoist is now positioned. And the 6 hooks are pushed over into position, ready to lift. Again, all the while protecting her airway, and now we will lift. Once we know we're clear of the pool, clear, now move her, position her over the bed so the resuscitation can continue. So the 6 emergency loops have been removed, which allows the emergency team as they come in to resuscitate this mother. This is a very rare situation that can occur, but as midwives professionally we need to have a contingency. Practice makes perfect, so practice it regularly. This film has tried to show you a variety of clinical situations where you might need to emergency evacuate a woman from a pool, albeit a very rare situation. However, we need to risk assess some women to ensure that we have the safety aspects covered, and it could be included in part of your skills drills. Please remember, Silvalea are available to assist you in choosing the most appropriate birthing sling for your clinical area. My name's Diane Garland. I'm a freelance midwife. For more information about clinical skills training, please contact me via my website at midwifeexpert.com.